think under certain conditions, one of which, and I'm sure you'll piggyback on this, is surrendering to the knowing that it's perfect. Yeah. See, as soon as we resist,
right,
okay, we're working against nature. Right. And what I do know about nature is that everything works in nature, but nothing works in nature.
Right.
And so, even though we're going through this metamorphosis as a species, I believe, the key is to surrender and just believe that that's what's happening.
Trusting the process.
Trusting the process, and very, very subtly and with lots of love. And that goes back to the passion.
Well, and what you were saying, Harrison, that the things that we're comfortable with are the things we've mastered.
Right.
So the things we have not yet mastered are the things that make us uncomfortable. And that's why, and I'm sure both of you have this experience as well, I notice today when I discover anything that's uncomfortable, I go, oh boy! I have the opportunity to get bigger. I have the opportunity to master something which I haven't yet mastered. And that to me is exciting. It's not surprising to me that we're going through this reorganization right now, because a few years ago, Harris Interactive did this study that it found 80% of working Americans are not passionate about what they do. They're
80%.
Not 80%.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, and
I would have agreed. I would have thought more. Yeah.
But when you think about that, people are going to work unhappy, unsatisfied, unfulfilled. That there has to be a change. That cannot continue. Because what are the repercussions of people doing work that makes them unhappy, that is unfulfilling? What are the health issues related to that? What are the relationship issues, the divorce rate issues that are related to that? All of the problems that we see in our society, some are only magnified by the fact that when people go and they spend the majority of their day doing things that are not fulfilling and that they're not happy about, that has to change. It couldn't maintain itself. And when we see, these excruciating numbers of millions of people losing their jobs, which any of us who know someone who's been in that situation where they depended on that, where they have a family, where they have a mortgage, it's a horrific situation to be in. And yet, it can be, to come back to what John was saying, it can be the greatest opportunity in a person's life. Because I am willing to guarantee you, and I don't have studies to back this up, but I'm willing to guarantee you that 95% or more of the people who've lost their jobs fall into that 80% who are not passionate about what they do.
Sure.
Which means that this is an opportunity for those people to be able to discover what it is that they really care about, what is it that has deepest meaning in their life, and now as they look for new jobs, look for new opportunities, whether it's starting their own business or becoming part of someone else's business, that to find those opportunities that are aligned with their soul's purpose, with the things that matter to them most, now gives them the chance to step on to a life where 8-10 hours a day of their life is spent fulfilled rather than being excruciatingly miserable.
Well, all suffering is a matter of an error in thinking, and errors in thinking have to be corrected because the natural tendency of the organism is to correct, to be healthy, to be well in every possible way. And so when you have a transition like the entire planet is going through right now, that is just a feedback mechanism for what is going on inside of us as a group, as a human species. And that feedback mechanism means that there wants to be a change. We don't want the things that have hurt us, that have caused us pain, that we've had errors in thinking about. But all that is perfect also because it brings all of us up in the end process. So the whole transition, yeah. John, you're actually...
Well, no, there's a couple I just have some, you sit around guys like you two and you have ideas. Number one, all high tides bring up all the boats. Right. That's number one. But as you were talking about, if you think about people that have been laid off right now, and that's a sore subject because there's been hundreds of thousands, millions. And you think about, we've downsized my company as well. And I can share with you, the people we've got left are the ones that have the passion with the skill that I couldn't let go of. Right? The passion with the skill. Okay? And so if you didn't have the passion in your job and you were an okay worker, you're the first to be let go. It's a tough thing to say, but when you become indispensable, then it's harder for you to get, or it's easier for you to be away from the core. You know, the core is what's always saved. So if you think about the human body, right, the first area of preservation, right, is the brain and the heart.
Right.
The extremities, okay, we can start to lose the
live
extremities.
without them, right?
You can live without them, but the heart and the brain, you can't live without.
Right.
Okay, and even the brain is the last to die. Right, and so when we talk about passions, we talk about mastering. So you use the word gathering of the masters. What is it going to take you to master your emotions, master your passions, master your skills? See, what most people fail to understand is to get to the top of the food chain takes mastery. Okay, because if it happens by luck, you're quickly hit off the top.
Right, because you can't sustain it.
You can't sustain it. And so what does it take? It takes mastering your passion with the God-given skills or abilities, unique abilities you have, backed by consistent action. And I've always said, a company never, ever, ever pays you. Ever. You pay yourself.
Yeah, beautiful.
Right? You pay yourself. So to the level that you have become outstanding with your passion, you become indispensable. Right? And so you can now start to command, the more rare you make yourself, the more you're worth. And the more you're worth, the more you can command.
Right.
And so when we're dealing in times of change like this, you're getting a look in the mirror, right, of what is my real worth. And it's not to make you feel bad.
Right.
It's to give you an opportunity to say, you know what, okay, let's get real.
Right.
Let's get real, and let's really stop to do things that are half-assed, okay, in my life. Let's follow my passion and ask myself better questions. Do I really want to trade my life for this?
Right.
And I was asked this. I was so fortunate, thank God. 29 years ago, I was asked, is what you're doing, your goals, is it worthy of trading your life for it? Well, nobody ever asked me that question. And I said, no, what I'm doing, what I'm displaying is not worth it. And the question was, then what would be worth trading your life for?
What a great question.
Because you're trading your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trading your life.
Completely
Oh
trading.
my God, trading your life. And at 19, I didn't know, 19, how can you think about what am I going to be doing 20 years from now?
Right.
But today, almost 28 years later, I'm going, thank God I asked myself those questions back then.
Absolutely. And it's so powerful what you were saying, John, because passion, as we've said, passion connects us to our soul, to the deepest aspect of ourselves. Talents, when I use the word talent to describe those things, those natural gifts that we have, are very closely aligned with our passions, because most of us really enjoy doing the things that we're quite good at. It's been interesting to me in my career to see that there have been times where I've been able to use skills and talents for something that I didn't have passion for, and it wasn't enough.
Right.
That was a very fascinating discovery. I had positions, very great, exalted positions in companies, if you will, where I was quite good at it, and I made a lot of money at it. And yet there wasn't passion for the service that was being provided, and it was like there was something missing. It was like there was a blank space there.
Right.
Talent and passions are closely aligned, and yet to be able to create that flow of value we were talking about also requires developing skills, which I consider to be those learned processes, the ways of giving your gifts in a way that allow that value, that flow to occur, which you're so good at. That you have those skills, and being able to teach people those skills to be able to use their talents and passions in effective ways. But to me, all three of those things are tied so closely together and create the ability for people to give their gifts and create a flow that allows them to live whatever kind of life they really choose to live.